Hi, I'm Julian Ferris, and welcome to 5 Minutes of Tech Talk. Today, my special guest is emerging artist James Collins. So, James, tell us a little bit about what you do and what your art is.
Right, so historically what I've done is I release art under the name Dynamic Reality. And what this project is for is to kind of explore how humans perceive what is real. And I do that through a combination of various mediums, video, photography, pencil drawing, anything really that kind of suits the need for my expression.
Okay, and so kind of what we're getting at here is just talking a little bit about the convergence of traditional art with technology. So explain a little bit about what you do that mixes those mediums and how you use technology to create your art.
So for me, technology it's a big facilitator of my creative process. What I'll do is a lot of times it frees me up from kind of the limits of resources like ink, paper, things like that. It enables me to experiment without those added costs. So I'm able to kind of hash out ideas and perfect them before I move to a more arduous traditional media.
So it's a nice environmentally friendly way to kind of test out your ideas, experiment with things, but in the end you do ultimately put it on traditional mediums, paper, sculpture, music, stuff like that, or do you kind of just mix it up and sometimes you will actually just keep it all in the computer?
You know, it really depends on how I'll end up showing it. When I'm working, I try to make my work at the highest quality possible so I can display it in as many different options as possible. So a lot of it ends up staying digital, but it can be produced in any kind of medium.
Okay, and we have some of your work here if you'd like to kind of show a couple pieces and talk about the process that you had with creating this art and how technology helped facilitate that and why you chose the final medium for this piece of art.
Gotcha. All right. So this here is going to some of my photography work. Here's a piece that I did. It's a pretty graphic little spider here. Excuse that photo damage there. It's kind of my demo photo.
That's one of the problems with physical media is it can be damaged and eventually deteriorate. However,
Exactly.
with technology, it could be stored forever unless a hard drive fails.
I could throw this away after we're done. So, so with this here, what this enabled me to do is I actually found this spider on my desk, and I've got a glass top desk, and so I found it, captured it, put it under a glass, took the photo from the bottom of my desk. Now, if I had been working in physical mediums, I would not have been able to really do that quickly enough.
Right.
All of that was instant, so I was able to produce this.
And were you actually using that with a real camera, or did you use a phone? Because I know a lot of people talk about technology with cameras and they complain about phone cameras, but you're going to have your phone with you at all times where
Right.
you don't necessarily have a DSLR or a film camera.
Correct. These photos were done with a real camera, digital SLR. I do use my phone for a lot of things, more for referential shots. If I see something that's interesting I want to use, I'll take a photo of it. But none of my main work is done with a phone.
Okay, interesting. And so as technology advances, there are some people that prefer the old ways. There's a lot of hipsters that like vinyl records over CDs, analog tape over MP3s. How do you feel about that? And will the average person really notice a difference, or is it all about the emotion that's created in the art in the final project?
Yeah, you know, that's actually a hyper-relevant question, especially now. You know, I would say the average person is technically capable of telling the difference. However, they really wouldn't be able to tell you what the difference was. And there is a difference, but ultimately it just really has to do, I think, with the content and how the person ends up feeling and interacting with what you've created.
So it's really about the content. It's about the meaning behind the artwork, and really it shouldn't matter the way it's being created as long as it's something that has artistic elements and some sort of meaning that will touch you.
Exactly.
So we're just about to wrap things up here, but real quick, I kind of wanted to look into the past so we can look in the future. 10 years ago, YouTube did not exist. 10 years ago, the world has changed drastically since then. 10 years from now, 2023, that sounds crazy to say out loud, but what do you think is going to happen with art then? Do you think that people are going to finally be able to let go of the past and move forward, or will we be still converging art at that point?
You know, I think it's all of the above, really. You're going to have a lot of people that are, there's always going to be people holding on to the past, and you're going to have people moving forward, and as things become easier to do, we're just going to be able to work on a scale so large that we can't even really conceive of what we'd be able to do with that.
I can't even conceive about it right now. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to invite all of you back to the future 10 years from now when we'll have James back on again and see what he's doing at that time. Until then, I'm Julian Ferris.